Hey guys, it's Joel from Archery. I've gotten a couple requests. Some of you have messaged me about the way that I shoot. I'm really big on the Mongolian style of archery. It's probably my favorite just because it fits me comfortably. I like it. I think it's fascinating. And by far they were the best archers to ever live. I'm not one of them, but I like them. So anyways, I just want to go over a couple of the techniques that make my style, and it's all things that I've been taught or read or saw a video or someone was gracious enough to show me how to do it. So anyways, there's three major points that I'm going to make. One is each hand, and then the other is how I draw. We're going to start with the bow hand, my left hand. The way that I hold the bow is just the only portion that's actually holding the bow is here, this first knuckle, and then my thumb, the middle knuckle, well, the furthest knuckle. You only have two on your thumb. The reason I do that is so that I'm not holding a death grip on the bow. If I hold a death grip on the bow, that makes my bow arm very, very stiff, and it doesn't allow my bow to rotate. And what I mean by that is when I release, since I'm holding like this, most of the pictures you'll see or anytime, my fingers are actually kind of flared out. I'm holding the bow just like this, if you can see that. That's how I'm holding it, and that's almost every single time. And the reason being, when I release, my bow rotates in my hand, just like that. And what that does is give you a real straight flight, like almost immediately. My arrows don't deflect very much. One is I have correctly spined arrows for the bow, and the other is just that particular style. When you allow it to rotate through, the arrow will continue on this path, and as it goes, it doesn't press against the bow as hard. It's not deflecting around the bow, somewhat like a fall away arrow rest does. How it falls away, the arrows allow to travel straight, and ultimately that would be the way to go. But since we don't use arrow rest, particularly or fall away arrow rest, I'm not real worried about that. I'm just going to do it this way. The second point that I'm going to make is with my hand. Now, I shoot with a thumb draw or Mongolian release, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But I do not use a thumb ring except for heavy bows, really heavy bows. The 60-pound, 70-pound bows. Those need a thumb ring to be shot multiple times because that's just so much pressure against your thumb. And the way that you latching, that's what it's known as, latch your thumb onto the string, is you're not curling it all the way around. You're not doing that. You're just slightly curling it so that the string catches in that knuckle groove. And then you touch the tip of your thumb to the middle knuckle of your middle finger. I'm not giving you the finger, I'm just showing it to you. But that's all you're doing, is you're touching there. When you wrap your index finger over it, you don't curl it around like that, like a little kid, you know, or like got your nose type thing. That's not what you're doing. You just want it just to kind of secure your finger. As I was told, is it's supposed to point at a 45 degree to the ground if your bow is straight up and down and the ground is perpendicular to it. So just there, I'm going to show you this way. Just there. You don't want to curl it around. If you curl it around, you cause your thumb to wrap too far around the string, and then the string will literally be twisting as it goes around your thumb, and that forces the arrow against the bow. And if your bow is rotating and the string is twisting and that's forcing that arrow against it, you no longer shoot in this direction, you're shooting in that direction. Totally wrong. You don't want your arrow going that way. You want it to go in front of you where you've aimed. So that's each of my hands. Now the third point that I'm going to make is drawing the bow. To draw my bow, I don't just hold it out, pull my string back. That's not what I'm doing. When I draw the bow, I use my shoulder blades, not my arms. I don't use this. That's wrong. Use this, like I'm shrugging my shoulder, arcing my shoulders back, like I want my shoulder blades to touch. That does a couple things for us. One is it allows us to draw a very heavy bow very easily. It uses very large muscles in your back. Two, when you do that, you get more draw length. If I just pull here, I might draw 30 inches. If I do this, I can get 32 or 33 inches easily. Now, not necessarily that big a deal for me as far as how far I draw, but what it does is if I do draw further back, there's more weight in a bow, properly made bow. I know some of them get to a point and they start stacking and that's it, and you're not doing anything else. But with a properly made bow that will flex more than 28 inches, then you're going to get more power out of it. There's a lot of people who show that like, oh, my bow draws 40 pounds at 28 inches, 43 pounds at 29 inches, and 46 pounds at 30 inches. Well, if you can get that 46 pounds out of the same bow and not doing anything different other than just pulling your shoulder blades back, why not? It's more arrow speed, right? So, thirdly, another point about it is when I draw back, if I just draw to here, this is as far as I can go. This is full arm movement. My hand is touching my mouth here, and that is not where I anchor at. I tried not having a fixed anchor. I'm not good enough to do that. I need to learn and do things the correct way, and then once I got that, then I can move on to doing things differently. I'm not that skilled. So my anchor point is the first knuckle of my thumb touching the corner of my jaw right here. When I do that, that ensures that I'm in the same place, I've drawn the same length, I've got the same weight pulled on that bow each and every single time. If you do that, consistency is the key. The more consistent you are, the more consistent your shots are going to be, and it just equates into being a much better archer. And that's really what we're here for. We're here, yeah, we build bows. This is great. This is a lot of fun. This is actually probably the most fun part of it. But shooting a bow, that's what it's about. We don't build these to put on the wall. You can. Some of them are beautiful. Some of the things that people have been making are beautiful, but we shoot them. That's what they're for. They're made to be shot. So if you're going to shoot it, do it right. So we're making sure that we're holding the bow in our hand, using only this pressure. And if you need to, you can apply the bottom of your hand just for stability, just to get it right. Wrapping your thumb properly, drawing to your ankle. Right. If you notice, I make this motion with my bow. That's what I'm doing. I'm going up, I'm drawing in, I'm pulling my shoulders back, drawing in. Right. Here. If I do that, I know that I'm correct. The last thing that I'm going to say is you need to have a release anchor. You need to have a second anchor. People who just draw with their arm, when they let go, their arm flies back. That's fine and dandy, but this is a lot of room that you could have drawn that you wasted. You didn't use it all. Now, if your bow doesn't draw that far, no sense in breaking the thing. I did that last night, actually. I broke my zombie bow because I overdrew it. I drew it as far as it would go and it snapped. But if your bow is made properly and it will draw that far, there's absolutely no reason not to. So, in having a release anchor, you're going to go anchor one and then anchor 2. My anchor 2 is my index finger, which after I release, my index finger is pointing. My index finger touches. Then I know that I've gone through and I've done everything properly. If my index finger doesn't touch the corner of my jaw, I know that I did something wrong. I didn't do it right. So I need to focus. And like, you'll find that's a lot of trouble if you're shooting aerial targets. Like if you're throwing them up in the air and you're trying to do everything right, it's really difficult. So just make it muscle memory. That's what it's about. Everything should just be muscle memory. And that's the key to instinctive shooting. Unlike gap shooters or pin shooters, I shoot instinctively, use both eyes open, and I make sure that I do that every time. So now I'm just going to shoot the bow a few times, so you guys see it, just to make sure that everything works. Make sure I'm doing everything right. So holding it, drawing it, anchor, release, allow the bow to rotate, second anchor. Should be right? Let's see if I hit the ball. Okay, you can see me. I hit what I was aiming at. So far, so good. Not bad. One more. Looks like it works for me. So, if you want to shoot that style, that particular style, the style that was taught to me, that's how I do it. If you find something that works better for you, please do that. Don't think that what I've shown is the be-all, end-all. However, it's extremely important that what you do is consistent. Just do the same thing over and over and over again. Unless it's wrong, then don't do it. But who's to say what's right and what's wrong? Not me. But anyways, if you have anything that you know, please tell me. Comment below, tell me. Don't keep this stuff a secret. I want to share as much knowledge as I can. I want to learn as much as I can. If you have anything to add, please tell me. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll find someone who can. And we'll go from there. If you need anything else, just let me know. So remember, if you'd like one of my bows, just contact me, and that'll be it. So thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you later.